All right, y'all, welcome back. So today I'm super excited to be talking about one of the only penny stocks I'm invested in, one of the only penny stocks that I'm actually invested in and not just trading. I see long-term growth and strong short-term growth. So this has a potential to almost 200x in the next couple of months. We're talking a lot about their financials, their products, their vision, their catalyst, their advisory board, which absolutely ridiculous. So watch through because I usually don't talk about penny stocks. So the fact that I'm trying to make a video about this stock says a lot. I've been invested in it since July. So just hear me out. See what I got for you. Optek is a company from San Diego. Shout out SD. So they provide green technologies for continued global reduction of fossil fuel uses, pollution, greenhouse gas emissions. So they started off like making these. So they have two technologies: the maximizer technology and then the UVC technology. The fuel maximizer is like something that they put into cars to make them a lot more efficient. So they have three different types for heavy duty. They have it for like your regular SUVs, sedans, and then they have it for like commercial vehicles. That's how they initially started off, and that was what they were known for. But now they have this UVC technology where they have multiple patents for. And I'll be talking about their products in that line. With COVID going on too, this is a big pivot and a big COVID play for them. A lot of upside potential, and we're seeing a lot of talk around this stock. It's one of the most researched and looked up stocks in comparison to even some of the Nasdaq listed stocks. So super interesting. But to me, the thing that really got me invested in July was their advisory board. So check it out real quick. So first of all, CEO is Roger Pawson. We'll talk about him a little bit later. I know some people have their caveats about him, but so their advisory board, they need to put up some pictures on here. But look at this, Kevin Harrington, so Shark Tank, one of the original Shark Tank investors. He's now the global infomercial inventor. He got on board around late July, I believe. We'll talk about the catalyst on that and show how it affected the stock. But next we have David Ojeda. He's the former Amazon senior director of logistics and distribution. Like, okay, just from the first two, like, what penny stock do you know that has this kind of advisory board at this level already? So we're not even done. So I'm not the biggest fan of Dr. Drew, but if y'all seen Teen Mom, like, this dude's like a TV personality. He has a radio talk show. And so yeah, Dr. Drew, I'm gonna pull up a video of him. I know y'all know who this is if you see him. Yep. And then we have Steve Mandel, who's also with Kevin Harrington, so Harrington Group Expert Advisor. And then Dr. John Parks, Stanford best-selling author, lecturer, radio program host. So they have a solid advisory board as a penny stock. Like, this is honestly, that's enough for me to at least open up a position and start investing. So we'll talk a little bit more about like entering and exiting and price targets. But yeah, let's keep going. So jumping into their line of products, so they have these solar LED lights, which are primarily for like businesses, so after hours saving, being cost efficient with your energy and utilities. And then also have their Optek Bio Mask. I know you might be thinking like, okay, like, who doesn't sell masks? But these aren't just your typical like whatever grade 1 type masks. These are really high quality masks, and they also secured a $2 billion contract, which they're expected to profit 100 million off of, which, you know, honestly could be better. But at the same time, like, think about the context. So this is a penny stock securing that kind of deal at a PPE distribution deal during the pandemic. Like, we can see multiple contracts, continuing contracts and deals just like this one. So keep an eye on that one. I'll probably dive into that a little bit later. And then they have the Optic Hydroxyl air sterilizer. So this one's pretty cool that you can see people using in their homes. So this helps disinfect the air, helps deodorize, helps sanitize, and get all like the must and molds. So especially in your car, they talk about it. Let's actually jump into this one real quick. Cool. So like I said, it's like a quiet and effective modern air sterilizer for your home. They use OH radicals to transform virus proteins and decomposing bacteria. So I like how they break it down over here. Hold on. So sterilization rate. They also have all the certifications. Where is it at? Here. So Families can use it in their homes. You can use it in the office space. So think about all these companies that will be going back after the pandemic, and they want to remain staying sanitized and being a little bit more efficient. So in the restrooms, in your vehicle. So this is something that's pretty interesting that I thought about. Like think about like Uber drivers and like DoorDash delivery drivers. So they're in and out, in and out. So are they really sanitizing their car consistently and efficiently? So this actually is pretty interesting to me. I just kind of was envisioning something with the rollout of this product that you can potentially pitch this to like different delivery drivers and different companies as such. Next is the Optek Safe Scanner. I'm gonna play one of their videos off of their Twitter to kind of like give you a visualization of how they're implementing it. As you can see, like just try to envision where this can be used and how this can, impact the industry of listing airports. So walking through airports, making sure everything's a little bit more of a streamlined process and being cautious with like COVID and traveling. And then think about like going back to school. So like when children, instead of walking through like the doors just all casual, they have the temperature scanners. And then even for elementary schools, middle schools, I know in Hawaii they have partnerships with different schools out there. So think about how they can scale that. I'm thinking like gas stations, retail, grocery stores. I mean, think about it. Honestly, like the upside potential is pretty huge. So and you see here we have the safe scanner speed gate, which is the same thing, but just the way it's laid out. So you saw in the video, they had that. Next, they have probably their most popular item is the Optek eye wand. So if you live in LA, there is billboards all over the place with the eye wands, and then with Dr. Drew on board and his advertisement, his IG and his talk show. The sales for this has been pumping up, but what it does is it's a portable UVC LED disinfection. So use it to discontaminate and kill bacteria. It's a 99.99% effective rate. So think about when you're ordering Amazon packages, you don't know like what's on the surface of that. So you want to disinfect it. Instead of using like wipes and stuff like that, you can just recharge this and utilize it to disinfect surfaces. So gas station, think of the pumps, think of the doors, think of when you purchase items. So it's honestly like the way that they're promoting this and marketing it is honestly pretty brilliant. So last we have their Rover, which they have different models for, which varies in like strength. So think about in comparison to sanitizing a classroom to like an office space. So depending on the size, that's the type that you would purchase. So this is more so of like with different partnerships, so schools, businesses, small offices, things like that. So I did see some like rumors about like potentially like partnering with airlines. So like having these in the back of like the airplanes. So in between flights and stuff like that, just flipping on that switch and like getting a good sanitation in. So you're not really replacing anyone, but you're actually just enhancing the level of efficiency when you're sanitizing. All right, and then I just want to share some work that I found. Shout out to the Rev and his team on Twitter. So I'll put up his handle up here. But check it out. Look at this. So some encouraging developments. So some of the biggest deals that are still yet to come. We have a lot of wholesale PPE deals likely to be executed in 2021. Looking to get 100 million off that $2 billion contract that I was talking about earlier. So in the shareholders conference, they talked a lot about share buybacks that are going to be very likely in Q1 of 2021. So looking early this year, which is going to be huge for the share price. They have an estimate price target of $2. So right now the share is at 8 cents. So buying in at 8 cents. And for those of us who are getting into twos and loading the boats at 2 cents, to get it to $2 would be absolutely insane. So let's just keep pushing. So they are full reporting status and audited financials to begin on the 15th of next month. They are already going to uplist to OTCQB. Then they're going to be pushing towards the NASDAQ. Oh man, this is going to be Next, we have the UV-UVC patent that allows for virus bacteria killing UVC light in phones and tablets. So this is huge. So Apple actually applied for this same patent, but Optek is the one that beat them to it. So think about all the royalties they'll get. So if Apple wants to use this technology, they're going to have to pay up. They're going to have to, cough up some funds to Optek, and they're going to be getting royalties for every single phone, for every time a company wants to use this technology. So think about having access to UVC light on your phone instead of just a regular flashlight. You can switch to UVC mode and disinfect real quick when you're at gas stations. So basically emulating what the iWand does with having it easily accessible. And here, a new website to be launched, which is the one we just looked at, securing a second warehouse. I believe they did that already. And then Kevin Harrington's already on board. These are the advisory board that I was talking about. And then partnership with Vinco. That was pretty big. We saw the share price jump there. So if you want to check out a little bit more of their DD, go ahead and look them up on Twitter. I'll put the handle right there. And let's keep moving. Let's take a look at the charts. And for those of us who are new investors, just kind of want to show you how catalyst and news is what really drives stocks. So there's always fundamentals to, check up on your DD on. But when you take a look at graphs, you can see different spikes dependent on like the different news that came out. So around here on 728, this is the biggest spike. This is when everyone started to really know what Optek is all about. So let's take a look here. So we saw the uptrend and the spike, all these gaps that got filled. So let's check out why exactly. You can see here on their investors page, they post all their catalysts and different news. So on the 28th, this is when Kevin Harrington got appointed or was put on, joined the advisory board. So let's go back to the chart. So let's see, 728 was around right here. So look at this, big buy orders came in and we saw this uptrend catch on. So that's just an example of how news drives share price. We saw a lot of high volume, but from here, this is actually pretty sad. So after all this consolidation, we had some ups and downs here. So the biggest gap up here, this was leading up to the big Zoom shareholders conference that I was talking about earlier. So everyone had a feeling that something big was going to be announced, which honestly, there was a lot of good stuff that was announced, but it probably wasn't exactly what everyone was thinking because there was a big sell-off, and then we started to bounce back and found support around the high 6 cents, so 6 to 7 cents, and now we've been slowly uptrending. Invest and trade at your own discretion, do your DD. And I just wanted to point out some things that I was looking at. That's some, I'm not a financial advisor, nothing like that, but when you're watching videos like this and you're getting hyped over like a certain stock, try to figure out where you want to jump in. Look at the charts, look at where the support is. Like for me, I'm hoping that there's going to be at least a little bit of a pullback come Monday so I can buy a little bit more, but because we've been pushing forward and we've been building higher lows, and it's looking real bullish.